Hi everyone, my name is Niiti Simmonds. I'm a lawyer at Cavalluzzo LLP. I'm going to give you a brief introduction to Bourinot's rules today. Bourinot's rules may sound intimidating, but they shouldn't be. They're just simply a set of straightforward rules that everyone agrees to when conducting business at a meeting. The chair is the person who conducts the meeting and leads the membership through the agenda. And in this case, the CNSA President Courtney Blake is responsible for conducting the meeting under the CNSA's rules. The chair's role is to lead the meeting and guide the membership through the agenda using the correct procedure, and to make any decisions or rulings on procedure if she's called on to. In a large meeting such as your National Assembly, it's normal to have a parliamentarian there as well. This is a neutral person who can make any necessary rulings on procedure or questions such as whether something like an amendment to a motion is appropriate or in order or out of order. The membership is all of you who are responsible for moving and seconding motions, discussing the agenda items, and making decisions at the meeting by way of a vote. Being prepared for the meeting means you've arrived on time, you've reviewed the agenda, are prepared to participate in the meeting, and you've reviewed any meeting materials that have been circulated ahead of time so that you arrive prepared to discuss the issues that you want to speak to. Comments in a meeting are always addressed to the chair. So while it's a dialogue, speaking happens through raising your hand, using the raise your hand function on Zoom in order to get on the list to speak, and by addressing your comments specifically to the chair. To start the meeting, the chair calls the meeting to order and determines that there's quorum. The chair then might review some housekeeping items that members need to be aware of. After that, the chair will ask for any changes or additions to the agenda. And once those are received, the chair will ask for a motion to approve the agenda either as given or as amended. The chair requires active participation from the membership, i.e. movers, seconders, and debate, in order to move through the business of the meeting. For each agenda item involving a motion, the chair will require a mover and a seconder, following which the chair will open up the motion for debate by the membership. So if you'd like to move a motion, no particular language is required. Use the raise your hand function on Zoom. Wait your turn to be called on by the chair. Greet the chair using words that you're comfortable with that are considerate, such as good morning or good afternoon, hi, hello there. You'll have to state your full name for the minute taker, identify your school and region, and identify if you're there as an official delegate or an associate delegate. Even though your name will be appearing on the little box under your picture on Zoom, you'll still have to say your name for the minute taker because it might not be visible to the minute taker given the number of participants. And so it's important to state your name fully prior to making your remarks or comments. So this can be reflected in the meeting minutes. So to move a motion, you simply can say, I so move, or I move that. To second a motion, it's the same thing. Raise your hand, wait to be called on by the chair, greet the chair using words you're comfortable with, state your full name for the minute taker, identify your school region if you're there as an official or associate delegate, and to second a motion, simply say, I second the motion, or I so second. Anyone who is participating in an official capacity as a voting delegate is entitled to propose an amendment to a motion, or amendments can also be proposed to amendments to a motion. And these are supposed to clarify the intent or the meaning, to make the meaning of the motion more clear. You can't put forward an amendment that really negates the motion because that just means you're speaking against the motion itself. Once those are on the floor, the chair will restate the motion with any amendments and invite debate. If you want to comment or debate the motion, it's the same procedure. Use your raise hand function on Zoom. Wait to be called on by the chair. There may be a lag because there's going to be a speakers list running. So it may be that you aren't quite called on at the moment that you've raised your hand, but you will be called on. You can, when you are called on, greet the chair using words you're comfortable with. Good morning, hi, good afternoon, hello there. State your full name for the minute taker. Identify your school region. You can identify if you're an official delegate or an associate delegate if that's the case. You don't have to, but sometimes it can be helpful to state at the beginning if your comments are in support of or opposed to the motion, but that's not required. You could say, I'm in favor of this motion because, and then explain, or I'm opposed to this motion and here's why, or simply my comments on the motion are here. Some special terms of art are used in the meeting, and if you get it wrong, that's okay. The chair will help you. The rules of order in an organization like this one are supposed to assist with process and fairness and orderly participation. They're not really supposed to bog down the process with technicalities or exclude participation. There's a couple occasions where you can, under Bourinot's rules, interject without seeking permission from the chair to speak. Your National Assembly package contains a quick reference guide to Bourinot's rules that identifies all of these. The point is to use these when you have a concern about procedure at the meeting that's urgent. So point of order, that's to object to an incorrect procedure being used, and you can interrupt the speaker to raise a point of order. Point of information, that's when you need to seek clarification from a speaker or previous speaker, and typically that will be able to be used to interrupt the speaker if it is urgent. But if it's not urgent, you could simply wait your turn to speak. It's up to you to decide whether it's really urgent, and the chair can also rule on that as well. Point of privilege is used when there is something happening that's preventing you from participating in the meeting. This is usually like a sound or technology issue that you need to be addressed before the meeting continues. And so in that case, it might be appropriate to interject and interrupt the chair because there's a technical issue or some other issue happening that's preventing your participation in the meeting. Other special motions require a mover and a seconder. I call the question. That's to end debate on a motion and call the vote. I move that the motion be tabled. That's to postpone a motion indefinitely or till a subsequent National Assembly meeting, so the following year, for example. I move that the motion be lifted from the table. That's to recall a motion for discussion that was previously tabled. I challenge the chair. That's to, if you want to seek to overturn a ruling of the chair on procedure. I move that we adjourn, and that ends the meeting in the middle of debate before the conclusion of the agenda and before the conclusion of the business. I move that we proceed to the next order of business. That's used to actually end debate on a motion without a vote. And you can also make a motion to move to refer something to committee for consideration. And so that's a suggestion that an item needs more study or consideration before it's voted on by the members. That's my overview. If you make a mistake, the chair will let you know when it's your turn to speak and what the correct procedure is that you need to use in order to speak. As I said before, it's not typically an adversarial order or rule approach to the rules in a meeting like this, because the purpose really is to promote orderly participation and participation by all. Good luck and enjoy your National Assembly.